Hi there, and welcome back to another edition of Scale Up Radio, the podcast inspired by the Entrepreneurial Scale Up system and designed to make navigating our scale up journeys a little bit more easy by learning from each other's experiences. I'm Granger Forson, and on this episode of the show, I'm joined by Rachael Willoughby of CasaGees Pizza Delivery. Today, we'll be slicing into the art of the pivot, the flavour of success, and the recipe for resilience with Rachael. To ensure you don't miss any inspirational future episodes, do subscribe to Scale Up Radio wherever you like to listen to your podcasts. Also, you can nominate a guest for Scale Up Radio if you know someone with an interesting scale-up journey. You can find out how in the show notes. So, let's now dive into the inspiring journey of pivots, pizzas, marketing, and the recipe for success with Rachael Willoughby. Hello, Rachael Willoughby. Welcome to Scale Up Radio. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you very much for having me. So my name's Rachael Willoughby and I currently run a pizza business, although I also run a software business. So two totally different types of businesses, completely different. And to be honest, if you had told me 4 years ago that I would be running a pizza business, I would have thought you'd gone a little bit crazy because it literally was not on my radar at all.
Brilliant. A pizza business and a software business. Fantastic. Which ones came first?
So the software business has come 2001. I started that business, and that actually originally was a graphic design business, which then melded into a web design business in the recession 2009, when web was probably the way to go, rather than people weren't spending money on graphic design. Well, they weren't spending money on marketing, full stop. So it evolved into web design, and then we niched really specifically down into WordPress, and even more specifically into really software development for WordPress websites. So creating CRM systems, etc. Very bespoke work rather than, there are millions of WordPress developers out there now. So we kind of niched down. So every step of the way, we've just gone a different direction to meet the demand, really.
Excellent. And what's the name of that business?
That's Square One Software. That is lead developer is Elliot Richmond, my business partner and life partner.
Ah, fantastic. How big is it? How many people?
It is literally just the two of us, two directors. We did have somebody working for us a couple of years ago, but actually Elliot's quite specific about his code, etc. So it was just easier to let him get on with that. Let me just say right now, I am not a coder. Okay. I don't understand any of it whatsoever. I was quite happy with the graphic design. I wasn't even a graphic designer either. I am literally the person that connects the client with with Elliot in terms of the coding. But I actually don't understand an app. In fact, I can't even sometimes program a video machine recorder. I'm absolutely technically inept. So for someone who's a director of a software business, it's quite odd. But what I am quite good at is somehow managing to translate Elliot's gobbledygooky sort of language to clients in a common sense so that they understand what he means. And I don't know how I've managed to do that. It's like kind of some translator thing in my ear that even though I don't understand coding, I can somehow manage to explain to the clients what Elliot actually means, because he is literally a computer geek. So my role in the business is to liaise with the clients and do the marketing, although as now we don't actually bother marketing the business at all. We're in that kind of fortunate position where it's ongoing sort of retainer clients, etc. So yeah. I've stepped away very much from that business. I probably work half a day in that business a week now, if that.
Okay. And then you have a second business.
Yes. Well, this business came about because dear old, what was his name now? I can't even remember his name. So I've literally blanked him out of my head. The ex-Prime Minister, you know his name.
Paul Johnson, that one?
That's the one. Boris Johnson, who announced on the 23rd of March, I think, that we were going into lockdown. And that really scared our clients. And basically, within 2 days, we'd lost 50% of our retainer. 50% of our clients had sort of basically said we need to put a stop on what we're spending. So we lost 50% of our income literally overnight. But obviously we still had things going out. We have 2 leased cars on the driveway. We had nothing that we could cut down. So we kind of thought we need to do something here. We knew we could survive for about 4 or 5 months as it was, but we didn't have a clue, as nobody did, how long this was going to actually last. And then just simply by accident, my partner Elliot, who, as I said, is my business partner, my life partner, He just mentioned that the businesses that would be doing really well would be things like takeaways, because obviously all the restaurants were closed. And Elliot's been making pizzas for years for the family and for friends. And they had numerous times said, "Oh, you should sell these. They're that good." And we would, we just poo-pooed it really. We didn't take any notice of them. I thought it would be ridiculous. We've got a software business. We don't sell pizza. And then when he mentioned this, I said, "Oh, so maybe people selling pizzas would do well in this environment." And then he looked at me and said, "Yeah, probably." So within 3 weeks, we were up and running from our home kitchen. Now, I actually thought at the time, this can't be as easy as this. There must be some massive legal paperwork stuff that you have to do. Bizarrely, there isn't. It's just very, very odd. It's one of those things that you can set up a food catering business from your own kitchen, and all you have to do is notify the local authority and register with them for a food license. And that registering is literally just filling in a form. You don't have to do any, run through any hoops. You don't have to have any training. I mean, we did make sure we had food safety training and food hygiene. Elliot was a chef years and years ago, so he knew all of that anyway. And that was it. Because we've got a software company, we were able to spin up a website with an ordering system, a kitchen ordering system, and everything else within 3 weeks. And because my background is marketing, I focused on marketing side of it. And yeah, but we literally thought it was going to be 3 months, maybe 4 months, however long the lockdown lasted, but we didn't expect to be still doing it 4 years later.
Yes. Wow. What an amazing pivot. People talk about, let's pivot, let's do something radical because the world has changed. And you went from software.
Absolutely. And to be honest, I absolutely love it. I love it far more than the software business. I love every aspect of it. I love the meeting. I don't do as much of the delivery now, but in the early days, I was doing all the deliveries. Elliot was making the pizzas. I was delivering them. We now have 5 part-time staff that do delivery and help with the making of the pizzas. But it's still all from our own kitchen. But yeah, we've gone from sort of sending out 20 pizzas a night to 84, 85 a night. We're only open on a Friday and a Saturday. But from then, we then decided to get a trailer. So now we have a really nice, sleek Airstream looking trailer that we take to weddings and corporate do's and pop-ups. But I love the whole part of it, the logistics of getting everything in, the marketing side of it. I absolutely love. We've got lots of marketing initiatives that we've done. I don't know any other pizza business that basically does what we do. They just don't. The local business, there's about 4 pizza companies around from us, and I don't think they even do leaflets.
Right.
But yeah, we do lots of different things. We've got a loyalty club, we've got a referral scheme, we've got, gift a friend a pizza. We've got all sorts of things going on.
Brilliant. Wow. That's lots of different marketing campaigns to achieve that. That's fantastic. Well, so where do you go from here? Okay. What a fantastic. Right. So pizza, what is it about your pizza then, do you think? What is it? Is it
so we do Neapolitan style pizza. We're very, very traditional. Elliot's background is he grew up in the Med in Malta. So he comes from that sort of background of fresh bread, etc. So the dough is no, I wouldn't say it was a secret recipe, because we're actually creating a course that everybody will know the secret soon. But it's all based on the dough. The reputation that we've got is that it's a great tasting, authentic Italian pizza, and we will not ever put pineapple on our pizzas. You can put pineapple on at home if you like, but we will only ever use ingredients that Italians are likely to have. So you won't see chicken tikka on one of our pizzas, for instance. They're all authentic Italian flavors. And I think that's our USP, along with the fact that we make sure that when they're delivered, they're on time. So people order a time slot and they're hot. So we will not deliver any further than 4 miles away. People can come and collect them, but there's nothing worse than a cold, soggy bottomed pizza arriving at your door 2 hours after you've already, 2 hours after you're expecting it. So those are our unique things, and that's what we've built into our software system, so that we know exactly what time they're going to be delivered. The chef knows exactly what time they've got to be cooked. And we even have, the What 3 Words app that you click in, so the delivery people know exactly where they're going. It's all integrated. And I think that's the benefit of having a guy who's really hot on software as well as being the chef.
Wow. So that's Friday and Saturday night, yes?
Yeah, it's Friday and Saturday night at the moment. Yeah, Thursdays in the summer we do pop-ups, and then we sort of do corporate events and weddings. Sometimes Thursdays, on Wednesdays, and possibly Sundays. We're just extending that now. We're just kind of last year we only got the trailer in September last year, so it's a bit too late to get onto the wedding thing. But yeah, that's our next sort of push to go towards the weddings and stuff. But we'll still always work from our kitchen on Friday, Saturday, or even possibly expand to another venue. We're looking into that at the moment because obviously when we go on holiday, we have to shut, even though we've got other chefs, don't particularly want them coming into our house and using our house for the weekend while we're not there. So that is something on the horizon.
So your USP then is this: you have a time slot, it arrives hot, and it's an Italian, traditional sort of Italian style pizza. Is that cooked on?
It's a stone, so it's electric oven, but it's a pizza, commercial pizza oven, which is electric, but it's cooked on stone, so it's stone baked.
Yeah. So your ideal customer, who sort of, do the people keep coming back, or is it?
We have a 75% retain rate when we get new customers in. Generally, we have some people, so we can tell through our system how many times people have ordered. So we have something called the 50% club. So once you've ordered over 7 times, you become a member of the 50% club, which means every sort of 6 pizzas, the 50% one, you get 50% off the next order. You get monthly orders, monthly offers just for you. We've had some people that literally have spent over £3,500 on pizzas. We have a lot of people that have spent 1,500 plus. So yeah, we have a very loyal base, which is great. But yeah, we have, as I said, it's about, if somebody orders from us, it's very likely that they'll order again in the next month. You know, sometimes some people just start and they order every week. We have literally have 4 or 5 people that order every single week and have done for 3 to 4 years. So yeah, very loyal base.
Yes, and a very yummy base too. So,
I mean, personally, I stopped eating pizza after the shift because I'm sick of it. But obviously, they still like it.
So I'm intrigued. So the 2 businesses, software and the pizza business. You've done a lot then of developing the software in the background, the pizza. So you spent that time. But what sort of proportion of time do you do both?
So Elliot he'll do 4 days on the software business, Monday to Thursday. Then Friday and Saturday is the pizza business, and then Sundays is 1 day off. I let him have 1 day off. And then I personally spend half a day in the software business and the rest of the time on the pizza business, either doing the logistics, sorting out the ingredients, booking, doing all the marketing, looking at events for weddings, etc., responding to inquiries, quoting for events and weddings, etc. And so that's my kind of job, and I absolutely love it. Especially dealing with software people.
and it's a physical thing rather than a digital thing, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Wow, fantastic. Well, that's amazing, and the blending of the two, you can really see then how you're using software to actually drive and help you be more successful in the pizza business. Yeah, we do have plans to do that, which I'll talk to you about later when we come to talking about where we see ourselves in 5 years. But yeah. Okay, so the 2 businesses, one grew out of a pivot because it was like, what are we going to do? Because you've got all that overhead to cover on the software side of it. So give us some thoughts. What's gone right? What's gone wrong? What have you brought with you that's made things? So I think the reason, so the software business has, so it's over 20 odd years now. Yeah. That started as a result of me working for a graphic design company for 10 years and then not getting any, there's a glass ceiling. I was the only female out of, I say the only female at the sort of top level, but they weren't going to make me a director. So it was a bit of a strop. I decided to hand my notice in and to start off on my own. I guess the first year was a little bit tough because I wasn't allowed to take any clients, etc. So one of the biggest things that I have learnt to do is networking. And I would say that was what we grew the Square One business on initially, was on going out and actually networking. And I used to think, sitting next to a
a bank manager. This is in the 20 odd years ago, when the networking wasn't what it was today. There was few and far between, and you went into networking groups like BNI. So I was a big member of BNI. Now there's absolutely hundreds and hundreds of networking events, and you can do it online, etc. But my first sort of foray into networking, but I didn't do it at all well at all for the first, I don't know, 2 years probably. If I found myself sat next to a bank manager, I'd immediately think, oh, well, he's not the kind of person I need to speak to. But actually, he's the perfect person to speak to, because he's talking to new business people all the time. So, it took me a while to get my head around, what networking's about. In actual fact, that isn't just going and saying, this is what I do, this is what I do. It's more about listening to people, finding out what they want. And what I started to do is connect people with other people, because I'd gone to so many networking events that I knew lots and lots of people. So I would be chatting to people and say, oh, you need to talk to so-and-so. And then as a result of that, and me being helpful, then you'd find out that they'd come back to you and go, oh, actually, I need this website doing, or this graphic design work doing, etc. So my first foray into setting up a business was, learning the art of networking.
Yeah, a vital skill for small business and the stuff. So fantastic. Yeah.
But at the same time, though, that was also probably not my downfall, but I didn't do any marketing. We basically grew our business on word of mouth and networking. And then when the recession hit, that was a very painful experience. 2009, the phone literally stopped ringing, and I had absolutely no marketing in place whatsoever. So that's my big lesson as well. I had to suddenly sort of like really start and understand marketing, which I had to do it quite quickly. And it wasn't a case of just throwing together a leaflet. I had to literally start from scratch and work out ideal customers. And literally, I realized that before then I didn't have a clue what marketing was. Absolutely not Scooby. But now I absolutely love it. Marketing is the best. Marketing is the only way a business survives, in my opinion. If you don't have marketing, you can't get customers. You haven't got customers, you don't have a business. So from 2009 onwards, I sort of hurled myself into the world of marketing. I got myself a coach. That's another lesson, number 3. I'd been a bit arrogant up until then, to be honest. I think I thought, well, it's my business. I know it all. I didn't know anything at all. Big mistake number 3 is to think that you know it all. And actual fact, it's really great to get another set of eyes on your business. They don't have to know anything about what you do, but they, just have somebody there asking you questions and making you think about stuff. If I'd have had my business coach, I've still got my business coach now. So 10, 11 years I probably got my business coach in about 2011. So 12 years, I think I've been with my business coach.
Brilliant.
On and off in various different guises, but and she was specifically a marketing business coach as well. So that's probably why I got my love of marketing. So that was another, lesson learned. Get yourself a business coach, and don't think that. I literally remember thinking to myself, oh, what are they going to know that I don't know? I've been in business 10 years. Very arrogant of me. And I'm still learning now. So that's another. Still learning. You're always learning.
Absolutely. And I think that's the real power of, being a small business owner and then growing. If you have that passion for learning, you'll succeed, because there's so much out there to find and experiment and do. So get a business coach, have a passion for learning. Yeah. And anything else? This is brilliant. Keep going. Anything more exciting?
So let me just think. So Square One then became what it is now by some marketing, and it was email marketing that I was doing. So basically we offered a free website review, which was basically a piece of software, not software that we devised ourselves. I can't remember the name of the company, but we'd basically plug in somebody's web address and it would give you a report. But what I then did is I broke down the report into 28 separate emails and explained each part of it. So over a series of 28 weeks, they got to know, this is what was wrong with your thing and this is what it actually means and this is how you can put it right. So over the course of doing that, that's how we started to get a reputation of knowing our stuff. I think we had about 3,000 people on our email list, and then their work just started flowing in from there. So email marketing is another, the money is in the list, they say, and it certainly is. So that's my other word of advice: get yourself into email marketing. And the thing is about email marketing is it's not about buy my stuff, buy my stuff. That's not the emails that you're sending out. What you should be sending out is, here's how I can help you. So you position yourself as the expert, and then people will remember you. They'll start talking about you. They'll come when they need what you're selling, then they'll come to you. Because when people aren't necessarily need you when you're going to send your first email out, but just nurture them. We call something called the 52-week Love My List campaign. So literally over 52 weeks, you send out 52 tips relative to your business to help people. And then every now and then, because you've done that, you've got justification to say, oh, by the way, I've got an offer on, or, oh, by the way, I do this, just in case you don't know. So that's where Square One built on the email list, basically. So that's another lesson that we learnt. And I've taken all of this into the pizza business. So we have a weekly pizza email that goes out. That one, to be honest, is more about what's happening in the business, or, new products, or, stuff that's coming along in the future, or pop-ups, etc., rather than pizza tips. Although I do have a 52 mail campaign bubbling away for something else that we'll be introducing later on.
Wow. Wow. Well, this has gone from software to pizza to marketing masterclass. So yeah, thank you. That's awesome. That's really good. So, we've got 5 great tips, which is all around, how to build your business, marketing, networking, getting a coach. The business itself, okay, the structure of the business, how do you manage not getting overwhelmed by it all? What's your tricks around that?
Okay, well, that's tip number 6, or wherever we are now.
Okay.
That's outsourcing. So I outsource now things that I can outsource to other people. So I have a VA which will do all sorts of bits and pieces. She'll do all sorts of bits and pieces for me. We obviously now have delivery people. We have another chef. So I only do now in the pizza business really the bits that I want to do, which is the marketing. So I think a lot of people make the mistake of, if it's a small business, especially if it's just yourself and some other person, is that they have to do everything. And then you do get overwhelmed. So there's something that I would say is you shouldn't be doing £10 an hour jobs, because if you're charging yourself out at £50 an hour and you're spending 4 hours on your bookkeeping, where you can buy a bookkeeper for £10 an hour. I don't actually know how much they are now. Yeah. You basically lost 200 quid because you could have been selling yourself for £50 an hour. But I know it's really, really hard to do that. And it took me a long time, not because I didn't think, well, there was one reason I thought, no, nobody will do it as good as me. But also it's just like, oh, well, I could save myself 50 quid. But if you twist it around and think, well, yeah, but I've just cost myself £200 because I can't, this particularly in the software business, when I was selling myself out more, I've just, unless you do it in the evenings, or which people do, or on a Sunday, and then you really are getting burnt out. So I would always say outsource little bits of pieces if you can, and then gradually, as you get more comfortable, you'll outsource more. Yeah. So that's the way of not getting overwhelmed, is, give it to other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree with that. Totally agree. And you've now recruiting people, because you weren't in your original business. What have you learned around recruiting people? And
don't recruit friends. That's one thing, because the boundaries get really blurred then. At the beginning of the pizza, well, not the beginning, but a year or two ago, I'd say made the mistake, but I did have a couple of friends helping me out, and I found it quite hard to say to them, actually, you need to do it this way, or need to do it that way. So I think if you've got a total stranger that comes along, yes, you can be friendly with them, but just that would be my thing. I found it really hard to tell my friends what to do, because I was like a boss. I didn't want to be a boss. Well, I did want to be a boss, but I found that really difficult. So it was quite a relief when they gradually sort of like found other things to do, or, it didn't fit in with their lifestyle anymore. So, that would be one thing I would do. Don't go into business with friends unless you're really, really, really good friends and you can say what you like to them and they won't get offended.
Brilliant. Okay. And then with the people you've actually found, that
I've been so lucky. We have we have got staff from the age of 14 to 48, I think years. And they're just great. I think the thing is, if you start off on the right foot, and we have kind of got boundaries in place right at the beginning, we've made it clear we've trained them properly. We've always said as well, if you've got any issues, anything happens, rather than don't tell us, or, be honest with us. And we also reward them quite well. I think they all get free food. They get way over the minimum wage. And I feel very lucky to have them, because I've, touch wood, not had any particular issues with them at the moment. They give me plenty of warning if they can't work, and it's vice versa. It's just give and take. But yeah, we are very lucky. And our 14-year-old delivery boy has actually progressed to be a pizza chef, because he was starting to make his own pizzas at the end of the shift. We could see that he really enjoyed doing it. He's been with us since I was 30. He's been with us about a year and a half. And then a couple of months ago, I messaged him and said, would you be interested in learning the kitchen side of it? Because we can see that you enjoy making your pizzas. And he's straight away, I got a response in like 2 minutes. Yes, please. And so he's developed onto that side. So he's learning a totally different skill set, and he's literally 14. So I'm hoping that he'll stay with us till at least he's 18, 19.
Brilliant. So the other important thing in a business is cash. How do you keep an eye on manage cash?
Well, this is why the pizza business is a brilliant business model, because people pay you before you hand over the pizza. Now, in the software business, that's not quite. So we had massive cash flow issues in the early days of software business when we were a graphic design business, because you would, in the early days, we wouldn't actually invoice till we'd finished the job, and then you'd have to wait 30 days, sometimes 60 days, sometimes even longer. Then as we got a bit more savvy, especially in the web industry, we then were asking for 50% deposits. But then projects could last for, they'd go on and on and on. So you wouldn't get the other 50% till that's finished. And we got a bit more savvy and introduced like 3 payment systems, 25% and then 25% and then 25%. But it's still always a nightmare. You never know how long the projects are going to be going. But with pizza and an online pizza business where they have to order online and pay online, the money's there. The money's in the account, and then you deliver the pizza. So providing you always make sure there's enough cash in there for all your ingredients and your staff wages, there is we have no cash flow issues within the business, mainly as well because we only buy the amount of ingredients that we know that we're probably going to use. There's no waste. And we funded, when we first started, we were using our own oven. So until we managed to accumulate the cash to buy the pizza ovens. So with all my businesses, I've always managed to just kind of save up the money and then invest it for equipment rather than take out a massive loan. I know that's not the case. That's not always possible for some people, but if you can try and wing it that way, so you don't have that massive cash flow issue. But keeping so in my software business, I know where we're going to be from right until November this year in terms of cash flow. I know the projects that are coming in, I know the money that's going out, and I know where we'll be. So I know whether we need to get another project coming in, and I know roughly when we need to start getting that project, which means I can work backwards and etc. and work out, if we are to do any marketing, that's when we need to do it. So cash flow itself needs to be a long term. You need to look at it in the long term. Yeah. Not so much with the pizza business. Yeah. But for us, we know that we want to, we're talking about potentially getting an electric bike for one of our bike boys rather than pedaling away very quickly. So we know that's like $1,000 or so. So we've got that into the mix. We need that. We're going to need a new mixer. So we just put that into the into future planning and make sure that we sort of cream some money off every week, just so we've got that pot of money. And obviously, of course, you've got to keep a note of your tax, etc. that's going. So I guess the moral is don't spend everything you've got in your account immediately, even if it's a pizza company.
Yes, I mean I like the profit first approach.
Yes,
where you hive it off into different bank accounts anyway. So therefore, it's there in front of you, but it's in different sections. So it's about forcing you to really think about what you need to do with that. Especially the tax man when he comes knocking on the door and you've got to pay them. That's an awful lot of pizzas you got to make very quickly, isn't it? Otherwise. And do you have a sort of maximum capacity of pizzas that you could make on a?
We do, so we have time slots. So it's only mainly because we don't want to. We've got 3 delivery people, and we've worked out that we can. At the moment, we're doing 12 pizzas every half an hour. We could probably take that up to 16 because our bike boy may start driving. But we've also got our trailer, so we could stick another chef in there and get another 12 going out if we get. So we're planning to go up to 24 every half an hour. At the moment we're at 12, but we just increase slowly. We'd never go from 12 to 24. We need to be able to make sure that we can manage the actual orders coming in and make sure that no one's disappointed and it doesn't all go tits up with things delivery. So we're very, very keen on not going too far too quickly. We just gradually build it up. But we started off with 6. So 6 to 12 at the moment, and then, we'll see where we go.
Brilliant. And you've talked a lot about marketing and elements. What are the key marketing strategies that are working really well for the pizza company then?
So, and I think these ideas can work for most businesses, is a loyalty scheme. Yep. So ours is the 50% club. So you're encouraging them to buy more, have more orders so they get rewarded. The referral scheme is good. We've got Pizza for Pals. So that's a two-way thing. So they get their own code that they can give to their friends. So every time their friend uses that code, and they can only use it once to get the discount, they get a 15% discount, but they also get a £5 pizza voucher. So if they give that to 10 friends, they've got 50 quid to use against their pizza account. And I think you can do that for quite a few industries that you can, do a referral program. So referral, the loyalty, and then we've got something that just simply came about by accident. What we seem to be quite good at is when something goes wrong, we try and work out how we can make that into something positive. So one of my delivery people is actually one of my friends that I was talking about earlier, managed to deliver a pizza to the wrong address. They hadn't ordered a pizza, despite me saying, well, check the address. They did happen to have the same first name, which was very bizarre. And it was in the same road. It's cut a long story short. Basically, this woman rang me up and said, I'm really sorry. This is pizza. I definitely didn't order this pizza. Then she got all paranoid that maybe somebody had ordered it on her behalf. It was all I said, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I'll find out what's gone wrong, but you can keep the pizza. Because she said, we haven't eaten it. Do you want to collect it? I said, no, you keep the pizza and we'll make sure we've delivered another pizza to the right person. And then I got an email and I got a text message later on that night to say, oh my God, that was the best pizza I've ever eaten. And I'm definitely going to be ordering from you again. Which made us think, well, why don't we deliver 2 free pizzas to random people in our area as a gift? So what we introduced was called the postcode pizza. So what happens now is we do a draw. We put all the street names. We've got 4 villages around us. So we put all the street names. We're on the street beginning with N this week. We put them all into what's called the Wheel of Names, and we spin that, we find the street, and then the next couple of days later, we then find all the houses that are in that street. We just go to Zoopla, 36 houses, put all those numbers in, and then we pick that up. And this is live, so people are watching it. And then we find out where we're going. And sometimes those people know that we're going to their house, like this week they did, but sometimes they have no idea who the heck we are. And we just turn up with free pizzas on a Saturday night and say, here you go. And that's working really well because people are putting it on their socials that they've won this pizza. They're coming back and having more pizza. And people are watching the videos. So social media thinks it's great because we've got interaction. And that was all just because of a mistake. Somebody delivered the wrong pizza. So
brilliant. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, even more masterclass around marketing and thinking how to use an opportunity like that. So let's meet again in 5 years' time, and we'll actually meet face to face and have a coffee, and we'll look back over the last 5 years. What's happened in those 5 years for you to be both professionally and personally to be a success?
Okay, so we have, if I'm honest, I don't think Elliot wants to, I know he doesn't want to work 6 days a week for the rest of his life at all. So we are planning to do a series of online courses, pizza courses. There are also software courses in the mix as well. Elliot has got a YouTube. Now he's just been, I'm going to do a bit of a plug here for Elliot. He's just been nominated by WordPress.com as one of the top 15 WordPress developers to watch in 2024. And that's because he started his YouTube. He literally started his YouTube in October. So that's only 6 months as a result of that, he's been asked to make courses. So we're going down the passive income route a bit here. He's planning to make those courses, but we are planning to make pizza courses. We're planning, it's already been filmed, how to make the best Neapolitan style pizza to impress all your friends and family.
Brilliant.
So that's and we know, I mean, I've had a lot of people say, well, why would you do that? Because people won't buy your pizzas. Well, when they realize how much work is involved, they will buy our pizzas. But on top of that, we want to show people also how to create your own catering business from your own home. And that doesn't have to be pizzas. We will focus initially on pizzas, but it could be anything. It could be brownies. It could be Indian curries. It could be absolutely anything, because we know we've done all the legwork. We know exactly what you need to set it up. And then there'll, of course, be a marketing course just for catering companies. But on top of in the course where we're talking about how to build your own catering business, we will then obviously give you all our software. We'll give you the website. We'll give you the ticketing ordering system. We'll give you the delivery system. And then that's a subscription model whereby you have that free for the first year. And if you're still in business, you just pay for the website. We don't want to have, we initially were going to franchise CasaGees. But after speaking to lots of franchise owners, what a headache it is, and actually we're very precious about our brand, and I think it would just send us doolally about, are they doing it right? So we thought, this way we've got you do whatever you want, you call your business whatever you want. We'll just help you set it up, show you how to set it up, and we'll also be there to hold your hand if you need to be. But that's the plan. The big idea for me is I've always loved helping people in business. And to me, this is absolutely perfect. So I can, embrace the whole concept of marketing, helping you in business and doing it for catering.
Fantastic. Wow, that's an amazing 5-year plan. And what will happen to the software and the pizza business in the meantime? Where will you be with those in 5 years?
Well, the software business, as I say, we're hoping to transition that into online on courses as well, and phase out having retainer clients. So we're not having that massive cash flow issue again. It's more of a work-life balance. So Elliot has decided and loves the whole filming of the YouTubes, the making of the videos, etc. So our ultimate aim is to be spending our time making and creating online courses. But I think we'll still do the pizza business, but we may just have chefs doing it, and we may have moved out of our kitchen by then. Because I can't actually, I think if we were to suddenly say locally we're not doing CasaGees anymore, we might get lynched. So we'd probably have to put it in some, local venue. And, as I said, we're already training up pizza chefs. So I think that's what we'd like to do, is to still have a presence in the village, still be doing that, but not so much hands-on. Yeah. And then, because at the moment we can only go away on holiday between Sunday and Thursday, not very big holidays.
Yeah. Yes.
So if we can sell courses online, then we can be going around the world and sampling other people's pizzas. That would be nice.
Oh, fantastic. Well, next 5 years, I'm going to have to definitely move closer, because I'm just outside your catchment area. So, yeah.
Oh, whereabouts are you?
I'm in Gloucester. So.
Oh, see, we have about 5 people that come and collect from Gloucester.
Yeah, well, we've definitely put that on my to-do list. So we'll be.
And also, you can be aware of all our pop-ups. If you look at our Facebook page, then you'll know where we're popping up. So come and visit us as a pub.
Wow, I'll definitely be looking out for that. Well, Rachel, what a fantastic conversation today. Talking from software development to pizza, the pivot that you had to make during to COVID as we were locked down, and that realization. But you've just given us some fantastic real thoughts and understanding about doing that. The passion that you have about business, the passion to help people achieve, delivering something of excellence to your clients just rings through this whole conversation. And, you've given us those thoughts around, as a small business, start networking, understand what networking is about and how to be that connector. Marketing is key. Email marketing is one of the best ones that you can do. But there are other streams of marketing that you've even talked about later on, which is the referral loyalty schemes, and the random pizza gift. Definitely going to be talking about that one at the next connection with my clients. Getting a coach is really key. Having a passion for learning, I think that's so important. That rings through you completely, and that's beautiful to really see and understand. Yeah, outsource all those little tasks. Yeah, do the most valuable task yourselves. Everyone talks about it, but actually you demonstrated that that's so important. Don't recruit your friends when you're in that recruitment stage, and thinking about cash. And what I loved about your cash, you didn't just talk about the cash and the flow that you need in a business, which is important, but you talked about building into your cash flow model where you need to spend lumps of money in order to be more successful and make your life easier as a business. I thought that was absolutely brilliant for that. So, and your passion, you're pivoting again, you're using your learning to help other people learn and become successful. And that's what really comes through to me is your passion for learning, your passion for having a go, but how you then use that to help other people. I think that's absolutely brilliant. And, it's been a fantastic conversation, Rachel. Thank you so much. But we always finish with a quick fire round. So a few questions just to round us off. If you go back to your younger self, what advice would you give yourself?
Get out of your own way. Don't think you know it all, basically, because you don't. Doesn't matter. I remember when I was 21, not necessarily just about work, but you think you know everything because you're 21, and and even though a 31-year-old will tell you you don't know everything you think you do, but literally you don't. I will never know everything. Nobody will never know everything. So just get out of your own way and think, actually, there's things I can learn. I can always be learning.
Brilliant. Which books do you recommend?
Oh, blimey, there are loads. I've got a bookshelf here. High Performance Habits is one, which is a good one.
Yeah, great book.
I'm very much into habits. So Stephen Covey's 7 Habits for Highly Effective People.
Yep.
Profit First is a good one.
Yep.
I don't think I'm also like law of attraction. Man, that sounds a bit woo-woo, but that kind of sort of mental mindset, the mindset stuff is really, really important, I think, in business. I don't know that I've got a particular favourite one of that, because there's one, but I can't actually say it because it's got a rude word in it. Just do it.
Yes, in the project management world, it was called JFDI.
Right. Okay. Well, it is basically saying that, but it's not project management. It's basically about mindset and getting a positive mindset and just doing it rather than just procrastinating and keep thinking about doing it.
Brilliant. On your mobile phone, any apps that really make a difference for you?
I'm not a massive app person either, although I have just bizarrely, and I've been in business for 20 odd years, I finally got myself a receipt expense app thing. So instead of having hundreds of receipts everywhere, now I just take a photo and chuck it away. I think it's called Zoho Expense, but there's probably hundreds of them out there. But I finally got myself around to doing that.
Yeah. Yes, I totally agree with that one. My favourite question of all, who's had the most influence on you as a business leader?
So there are 2 people. One is my business coach, Carrie Lindeen, and the other person is a guy called Nigel Bottrell. So I'm a member of the Entrepreneurs Circle, and Nigel is a Yorkshireman. I don't know whether have heard of Nigel, and I'm probably influenced greatly by all his stuff. As a member, obviously, I go to a lot of his events. So I find him a refreshing Yorkshireman who talks a lot of sense and has he's built 7 £1 million businesses. So he's a huge influence on me.
Brilliant. And finally, Rachel, how can people get hold of you?
You can contact me through LinkedIn. So there's not very many Rachael Willoughbys, and I'm the only one with a pizza icon, I think. And also on our website, if you're interested in any of the courses and for future, you can go onto the CasaGees.co.uk website and just register your interest on the courses there. And that's probably the 2 best places. Or you can, if you're more into the software side of it, then you can link up to Elliot Richmond's YouTube, which I cannot remember the address of it, but literally if you type in Elliot Richmond WordPress, you'd find it.
And one final little question. The name CasaGees for your pizza business, where does that come from?
Right, it's CasaGees.
Okay.
So this is interesting. We were called CasaGees, and that was because we're all ginger. So G's. We used to be, as a family, we're called the G's, the gingers, the G's. And my son came up with CasaGees. However, Papa John's weren't too impressed with that, and so when we trademarked the name, or tried to trademark the name, I got a knock on the door, literally midnight before the 10 days or 10 weeks or whatever it was up, to say basically, no, please don't trade your name. They didn't mind us using it locally, but they didn't want us to actually trademark it. And at that time, we were still thinking about the franchise route. So that's why we changed our name to CasaGees, which makes a bit more sense because Casa is Italian for house. And we're talking about making pizzas from the home, and we're all G's. So that's where CasaGees comes from.
Awesome. Rachel, thank you so much. It's a fantastic conversation today.
Thank you very much for having me. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
I hope you enjoyed that discussion, and if you're building and scaling your own business, you might well be interested in our book, The Entrepreneurial Scale-Up System. And it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a practical handbook around scaling a business in a structured way. And you can order a copy on all your favorite online retailers, including an audio version, or you can find it and other supporting resources on our website, www.esusgroup.co.uk. That's esusgroup.co.uk, which is esusgroup.co.uk.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.